Hi there, it's Sarah of Get Weaving. Today I'm spinning on my little Nano2. It's by Dreaming Robots. I bought it at Wonderwall, Wales 2 years ago. My friends and I had been to the show. We didn't have room to take a full-size wheel, but I love to do a bit of spinning while I'm there because then I can go and try something, and if I like it, then I can go back and buy a bit more. This is brilliant. It's just running off a phone power pack. It lasts for ages. So I bought some ramie. Beautiful colours from Hilltop Cloud. I haven't checked lately. I hope they still sell it. I've spun ramie white before now, but I mean, wow, they had about 20 different colours. They were absolutely beautiful. It's a long, silky, shiny, smooth vegetable fibre. I absolutely love it. I believe it's from the stem of the nettle plant. So I split it open a little bit because it's quite dense. It comes like this. It's quite dense, so I just find it easier if I open it up a little bit, then it's easier to spin. So that's how it comes, this great big long roving. I have 3 colours, so these 3. Oh, just lovely. And I've also got some red bamboo. I'm hoping they'll go together because they're all vegetable fibres. And what I'm doing is spinning a little bit of each colour. So, I'm not quite sure what this one's called. Doesn't matter anyway. A little bit of each colour, and then I take that off, and I'm then putting in a bit of bamboo. Do a little bit of that. I'm going to use this for a warp for a summer dress, I hope, just as singles. So I've already used some of this ramie before now for a summer top. I've decided I'm going to do the video all in one go and then put the photos at the end because it's a bit easier. I love this little switch that this has, so you can just switch it on and off. If it gets over twisted, it won't draw in. So then I just break a bit off, draw it out a bit more and let the twist run down. Because with this little wheel, I definitely find it's better to spin fairly fine. Just stopped for a quick slurp of tea. Look at my lovely mug, friend of mine. So I am spinning this fairly fine. I'm not really deliberately putting extra twist into it. I'm hoping it'll be all right as it is. Join in the next colour. There we go. So I'm trying to just keep it as smooth as I can, but definitely I'm not hanging on to it for any longer than usual. I'm not putting any extra twist in, otherwise it doesn't seem to want to wind in. What I did was I filled about 4 bobbins and then I wound them onto my Ashford mini skein holder, which measures 90 centimetres or 1 yard, which is jolly handy. See, because I'm talking, it's got over twisted. So I counted as I wound them on, and I seem to be getting roughly, what was it, about 200 yards from 1 bobbin. So far, I've spun this little lot. They're all slightly different. But when I wind the warp, I'll sort of intersperse them. I'm hoping that the bamboo and the ramie shrink at the same sort of rate, but as usual I will weave a little sample first just to check. So I'll weave a small sample that'll be big enough probably to use for pockets, and then I can check that the set is okay and see how the shrinkage is going to work. So a bit more of this one. It's quite fun doing this. So I want the warp to be sort of changing colour as it goes along. I haven't decided what I'm going to use for the weft yet. I've just ordered some slubby silk from Uppingham Yarns. I might dye it, or I might just use it natural colour. So again, I like to weave a small sample so I can check. I'd perhaps use different colours for the weft and then stand back and just see which one I like the best. I'm going to check the wraps per inch once I know what I'm using for the weft, because what I'll do is wrap one warp and one weft around a ruler for 1 inch and then just check, just count the warps. I want it to be a very lightweight fabric. It's for a summer dress after all. Fairly open weave. Sometimes I make the set a little bit looser than it might want to be if the yarns are hand spun, because that way I know that it's going to have a little bit more air in it and the warps won't argue with each other and they won't rub against each other. And then it's got, see, it's done it again. Must concentrate. Now, I've sorted that little mess out. And then probably I need to tighten up the tension a little bit so it draws on a little bit quicker. Let's do that. So, as I was saying, sometimes I will set it a little bit looser than the wraps might be suggesting, because then there's no danger that the warps are going to catch on each other. And then it also allows shrinkage, and also I'll probably add a little bit extra to the width to make up for that. So that's why I sample these days, so I can find out all sorts of things. As usual, let's break a bit more off. I'll weave it on my Ashford 20-inch knitter's loom, which is what I use for most of my garments. Since I bought this little one, I'm so enamoured with them. I've bought the EEW6, which is also by Dreaming Robots. That's the next size up. I can get about 200 grams of yarn onto, or fibre rather, onto that. And so I use that for spinning slubby silks, that sort of thing. And I have to admit, I've now got the Ashford e-spinner as well, which is beautiful. It's wood, whereas these are plastic. I think they're all 3D printed, which is brilliant. It probably keeps the cost down and the weight. But I love all of them. This little one goes on holiday with me. Goes in a bag, in a suitcase, doesn't weigh much. I take half a dozen bobbins, enough yarn for the holiday, this little power pack and a cable, and a lead to charge up the power pack. It's brilliant. And I spin enough yarn for a small project and then finish it off when I come home. I like the Ashford e-spinner. It's very sturdy, but of course, being wood, although I have a lead for it, I usually take it out with me. And it does seem to use the battery up a bit quicker, I suppose, because it's heavier. There we go. So they've all got really good carry bags. I just find if I'm going out, it's so much easier to take one of these little wheels than my full-size spinning wheel, which often, I mean, they're not very happy travelling anyway. I do have one that folds. Luckily, I've got the Louette Victoria, which I love, and I'd never part with that. It's so easy to use. But I mean, I can use this in the car. I put it on a lap tray. I can sit in front of the television with it. It's absolutely brilliant. I've used it quite a lot over the last 2 years. I've certainly had my money's worth. So yes, I know it's not quite the same. I know some people say it's cheating, but I don't see that. I'm still having to do this bit with my hands, and then all the other stuff that goes with it as well. So I'm really pleased with this. I haven't got too much more to do. And then what I'll do is I'll weigh it all. I'm going to wash it. Well, not wash it. Give it a good hot soak and then a cold rinse. And then hopefully if it's going to do any shrinkage, it'll do that before I start weaving with it. So yeah, it's just really, really easy. And it takes up no room at all, so I can sit outside in the garden with it. It's not temperamental. I love them. And if somebody said, which one do you like best? Well, this one was obviously the cheapest. The EEW6 would have been the middle range. And what I love really about them is that I can stand and spin. Because like most of us, weavers, sewers, spinners, we spend an awful lot of time sitting down. So I love it because I can actually walk right back and stand and spin with these. And that's why I bought the EW6. I saw it as show. It was on top of a pile of boxes. And I said, can I have a go? And I stood there and spun. I thought, this is really good. Obviously, it's brilliant as well if you're not so good on your feet. So, excuse me, I can't remember the exact price. The Ashford E-spinner I got from eBay. And the girl was very fair. I think some people ask far too much for second hand. I think once it's used, it's used. It's not new anymore. And she was asking half price, which I thought was great. It wasn't brand new. It was probably about 2 years old. It was in perfect condition. Came with all the bits. She wanted to get rid of it, and I was really happy to take it off her hands. Here we go. So I'm very pleased with this. As I said, these are still quite crinkly. They're singles. That's the size of the hank anyway. So I'm going to give them, it's no good trying to wind a warp from that. It'll be all over the place. So I'm going to give them a really hot sort of dunk. Not really a wash because I don't want them to fluff up. And they're not dirty anyway. They're clean. But I think if I give them a really good soak in hot water and then straight into cold water, if they're going to shrink at all, hopefully it'll shrink at that stage. Otherwise I'm going to end up with seersucker, which I've done before now, which is fine, but not if you don't plan for it. So today I am wearing DR009 with the jacket over the top. It's a nice day actually, so I'll probably take the jacket off in a minute. And happy spinning. And the shirt in the background is my next pattern. I'm working on that at the moment. I'm hoping it'll go up to size 3X. I'm being asked about downloadable patterns, which I am adding to. All takes a while, so I can't do anything in a hurry. And luckily I can post to the USA again, because for a little while that was not possible, but that's all sorted now, so I'm pleased about that. Obviously downloadables, it's more economical because you're not paying postage. You do have to find a printer that can print size A0. I haven't managed yet to find a way of turning my A0 size pieces of sewing pattern into a print at home format. I'm looking into it at the moment, but all that isn't my strong point, I'm afraid. It's going to just take me ages, or I might bite the bullet and ask somebody to help me with it. Because obviously I know a lot of you like to print your own things at home. I'm not frightfully fond of doing a sewing pattern that way, because you've got all these bits of paper with sellotape or glue or something to join them together. And if it's not absolutely perfect, you know, you could be kind of way out by the time you come to make it. But I'm going to have a go and see if I can find it. If not, if you just search on Google or whatever search engine you use for online printers, and you're asking for size A0, they should be able to do that, because the downloadables obviously come to you as a PDF. And then you either get a size A2 sheet of instructions, which you'll also need to find somebody to print for you, or you get a booklet which you can print at home on A4 paper, and a cover, and sometimes there's an extra sheet so you can print those as well. So I'm trying to keep up with it all at the moment. I think it's the only way it's going to go really now, you know, because to send to some countries is so expensive. And then one of my customers recently is in Canada, and she said there's a postal strike, so they can't receive anything anyway. So she has just messaged me, thank you, Tara, and said, I've downloaded it, or I've purchased it, I've downloaded it successfully. So I thought, brilliant. And then obviously your full-size paper print then gets sent to you from the printer. You just have to check that the scale is right. So I put what the scale is on the pattern. So I think that's about it for the moment. I'll put some photos at the end so you can see what this is going to be used for. I love it. The only trouble is I very rarely repeat anything. So I find all this out for one project and then move on. Not to worry. Have a nice day. Bye now.